Kakadosh Boker Or Bekiim Bahalacha day 52, page 163. This is Siman Nunhei, Siman 55, Halacha Aleph. Kaddish. Okay? So Kaddish may be recited only when we have 10 adult Jewish men which are present. The presence of the 10 people such as have to be in one place, which constitutes a Minyan. Okay? That's what it says over there. Look in the preface for the halachic sources. The term adult applies to a person who is developed physically so that he's grown at least 2 pubic hairs. The term Jewish implies that someone who's born a Jew or who is fully converted to Judaism. And it excludes a slave belonging to Jews, although he's obligated to perform mitzvot, most of the mitzvot. This rule applies as well as for reciting Kedusha or Baruchu, for the repetition of the Amidah, Chazrat Hashatz, for the Torah reading, Kriyat Torah, for the prayer listening, you give me Midot Rachamim, for the Haftarah, with its accompanying blessings. Kohanim may fulfill the mitzvah blessing of the congregation only when there are also 10 adult Jewish men. So Birkat Kohanim, also 10. So you understood? Right? Kaddish, Kedusha, Baruchu, right? All these things. Chazrat Hashatz, Haftarah, all these things. Yeah, there's all the Dvarim Shemik Kedusha. Halacha number 2. Okay, when visiting the grave of tzaddikim, of their departed relatives, right? Or for the departed relatives. Some people have the practice saying Kaddish at the site, even if they're less than 10, arguing the deceased souls of the people that are buried there count as towards 10. This is absolutely incorrect, meaning don't combine deceased people as the 10. Yeah? They have one of the biggest minyanim there. Yeah? So he says, right, this is all absolutely incorrect, and the practice should be protested. If someone insists on reciting Kaddish without presence of 10 men, no one should respond amen. If someone responds amen, he'll be guilty of reciting amen yetoma, an orphaned amen. Maran the Rishon LeZion ruled this in the response of Yehavedat. A cemetery is no different than anywhere else regarding the need. I'm in the footnote. The need for a minyan to recite the Kaddish. Although the Gemara relates that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi passed away and was buried, he returned home every Friday evening. Sefer Chassidim says that he arrived wearing splendid garments and recited Kaddish on behalf of his family. Right? He's different than any other deceased person. Once ordinary people pass away, they're exempt from fulfilling the mitzvot, but great tzaddikim the status of living people even when they're physical demis. As the Gemara says in Melachot, for this Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was able to say Kaddish on behalf of others. Even when visiting the graves of the greatest tzaddikim, however, we cannot count those tzaddikim as living people who can help for minyan, for reciting Kaddish. For one thing, we have a rule that we cannot derive halachot from a passage of a gadah, meaning en lamdim halachot min gadah. There's a gadah, there's a story in the Gemara. You're not allowed to learn halachot from there. Right? That's going to be number 1, even if it's recorded in the Gemara. Moreover, even if it's true that tzaddikim are alive and obligated mitzvot, it is likely this is the case only when they assume human form and they're physically living, but not while they are lying dormant, right, in their graves. Right? The response of Khatam Sofer asserted that whenever Eliyahu Navi appears to people in human form, he's no different than any other Torah scholar and he's obligated to fulfill mitzvot. When only his spirit is present, such as in the case when he visits Brit Milah, he has the status of an angel and he's exempt from all the mitzvot. At any rate, we cannot assume that any other tzaddik remains alive after his passing in the manner of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. Halacha number 3, Gimel. When counting people to ascertain whether or not a minyan is present, right, in the synagogue, it is forbidden to count heads verbally. I mean, you can't do 1, 2, 3, you can't do that. Our sages taught in Yoma, it's forbidden to count Jewish people, right, by number, even if it is for the purpose of a mitzvah. Even if someone wishes to count the people by letters, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, right, this, that, all those things, instead of numbers, it is also going to be forbidden. Instead of the person counting, you should look at the people and count them in his head while thinking the numbers. Meaning, so first of all, just think it in your mind. Alternatively, you may count them using a pasuk. So a popular pasuk is right, and therefore others also say, right, as well, many different other ways as well. Was to count the people using a bead bracelet. Okay, fine. But whichever way it was, right, it was done in a certain way that you're not actually counting, right, you're not counting whatsoever. Okay?